Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, At Home with Chelle, and to another foodie video. So I do make quite a lot of foodie videos. I often film what I eat in a day, and today this is a what I eat in a week. So I've basically filmed some meals that I've had over the last couple of weeks, and they are really healthy meals. They are low in syns if you're following Slimming World, but honestly don't feel like really healthy. They're just normal kind of meals that the whole family can eat. So I really hope you find this video useful, because I know how difficult it is sometimes with meal planning and how you can get into a bit of a rut. So yeah, hopefully this will give you some ideas of meals to put on your meal plans for the next couple of weeks. I've got my meal plan here. I've got a real mixture of different dinners as well. So I've got 7 different meals that I'll be sharing with you that, like I mentioned, I have filmed. As always, I will put all of the ingredients in the description box down below if you want to kind of go on there and then go shopping. And then in the video today, I'll actually be showing you how to make each of the dinners, and most of them are pretty easy as well. So I really hope that you do enjoy this video. If you do, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel and like this kind of video, then I would love for you to subscribe. Monday night we had a chicken bake. What I love about this one, not only was it delicious, but you can just throw everything all in the oven. It does take slightly longer, but I just think it's super handy because it's all made in one pot. So it's just one big dish that you put in the oven. I love tray bakes like that, saves on the washing up too. And then, although it does take a little bit longer, you can just get on with everything else. So if you've got kids' homework or anything like that to do, you can get on with that whilst the dinner is cooking in the oven. The recipe for this one I actually got from Readly. You may have heard me talk about Readly before if you've watched previous videos. I have actually worked with them previously, and I am also a subscriber. I'm working with them on today's video, so I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about them. It's basically a magazine subscription service. So you download the app, and on the app you just get access to thousands and thousands of magazines on there. It's honestly amazing. I love it all year round. I particularly love it at this time of year because you can get all of the Christmassy recipes on there. I mainly use it for like searching for food recipes on there. So if I know I want a slow cooker meal or an air fryer meal, or sometimes I'm just scrolling through some of my favourite magazines in there. Some of my favourites are BBC Good Food, what else do I like? Easy Cook, Delicious is on there. Loads of foodie magazines, what I love. And then what I often like to do is just when I'm scrolling, then I will bookmark them, and then I'll go back to my bookmarks, and I've saved all of my favourite recipes on there. I've mentioned it before in like a meal planning video, because I often use it for my meal planning. And then what I love about this time of year as well, like I mentioned, they've got all of the Christmassy recipes. I've got so many things saved already for like different sides for Christmas Day, and different ways of potentially how to cook your turkey and things like that. And then I also like the home magazines on there, because I always used to buy them, but I don't buy them anymore because they just used to take up loads of room in the house, and now I just find it so easy having it all on my phone. I've got all those magazines there, so much inspiration for decorating for Christmas, any Christmas crafts if you're into that kind of thing. Honestly, they've got like so many different categories, and then it's personalised to you. It also has 5 different profiles on it. So I have a profile, my partner has a profile, and my daughter has one, and then they're all kind of personalised with our own recommendations and things on. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you about that because honestly I couldn't recommend it enough. And Readly have actually given me an amazing offer, which is you will get 2 months completely free, and you can cancel at any time. So there's no kind of strings attached or anything if you want to try it out. And honestly, there's like no better time of the year. I mean, it's great, like I said, it's great anyway, but trying it out this time of year, getting all the Christmassy inspo and recipes on there. And like I said, the chicken bake is what I made from there. So I'll get on and show you how I made that now. Just to quickly mention the calories and syns in the chicken bake. So it was 483 calories per serving, and if you are following Slimming World, is completely sin-free. These are all of the ingredients that you will need to make the chicken tray bake. So I've got around 300 grams of potatoes here that I've just peeled and cut into cubes, 2 onions, 2 red onions that I've just then kind of cut quite thinly into circles, 3 garlic cloves, a fresh lime, 1 pepper which I have cubed, The recipe did call for boned thigh fillets, but I've just used the boneless ones. I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. Some smoked paprika, dried thyme, and it did also say bouillon, which I don't have any, so I'm just going to use a chicken stock cube, some Tenderstem broccoli, and then I'm also going to serve it with some green beans on the side as well. I've preheated the oven to 180 degrees, and then I'm just going to roast the veggies initially. So the potatoes, the onions, and the red pepper. The recipe calls for oil, but I'm just going to use some fry light. So spritz that with some fry light. Season with some salt and pepper, and then I'll pop that into the oven for around 15 minutes. Oh, better move that down. Whilst the veg is in there, I've quickly got the broccoli ready. It was pretty much done, so all I've done is any that had slightly thicker stalks I've just sliced in half, and I'll put that to one side so it's ready. And then I'm just going to get the chicken thighs themselves ready. I'm just going to do that in here, just for ease really. So on here I'm just going to sprinkle over, and then I'll rub it all in, the smoked paprika, some of the dried thyme, and then I'm just going to, where's my lime, there it is, and then just grate over, so I've just washed this quickly as well, then just grate over the zest from one lime. I'll then probably just season them with a little bit of salt and pepper as well. I'm just going to leave this in here until it's ready to go in, but just rub in to the skin the mixture as well, and then that will be ready in about 10 minutes to place in with the potatoes. It's been in the oven about 15 minutes, and now I'm just going to nestle the chicken thighs in between the potatoes, peppers and onions. Goes back in the oven to roast for 40 minutes. I've just taken it out of the oven and it's pretty much done, so I'm just going to pour, so it said 200 ml of the bouillon mixed with water, which I think might be too much, so I've just done about 100 ml here. I mean, I don't really think you need that of stock. Maybe it's because I'm using stock instead. But then I'm just going to place this broccoli over the top and then pop some foil on, put it back in the oven for about 10 more minutes, and then it will be ready to serve. Just got this out of the oven. Now it is full, so just double check that the chicken was already cooked because I've checked before, and then the broccoli should have softened slightly as well, and there we have it, one pot dish. I was going to do the green beans to go with it, but I don't think I need to be honest. So yeah, I'm just going to dish this up now. Delicious. Tuesday was a prawn, chorizo and orzo dish. Again, this was all made in one pot, but this time on the hob, so it doesn't really take that long to make. And I really like orzo as a type of pasta because it's almost a cross between pasta and rice. If you haven't had it, you need to try it. Honestly, it's amazing. So it almost makes like a pasta kind of risotto. I know sometimes chorizo can be a little bit higher in syns and calories, but when you're making this and splitting it between 4 people, it's not even that bad at all. So calorie wise, this dish came in at 425 calories and 3.5 syns per serving. These are all the ingredients that you'll need to make tonight's meal. So starting with the veggies, you'll need half a red pepper that I've diced, 3 garlic cloves, half a courgette, around 100 grams of cherry tomatoes, half an onion, again just finely diced, 50 grams of chorizo that I've just halved, quartered and then basically cut into small cubes. I've then got a packet of frozen prawns that I've just defrosted here, 100 grams of orzo. I'll also add in some fresh basil leaves, about a tablespoon of creme fraiche, some tomato puree, smoked paprika and a lemon. Oh, and also around, not much Parmesan, around 15 grams of Parmesan. To start off with, you want to saute the onion and the chorizo just until it goes slightly softer, so probably for around 3 to 4 minutes. After a few minutes, you can see that the onions have started to soften nicely and the chorizo's released some of their oil. So you then want to add in your veggies. So I've got my courgette going in, the pepper, the cherry tomatoes and the garlic, and then I've just chopped a couple of these stalks of the basil once I've pulled the leaves off. Give that a good stir and cook that for around 10 minutes. After a couple of minutes, you then just want to add in a tablespoon of tomato puree. Meanwhile, grab your prawns that are in the bowl and just squeeze over some garlic and then some fresh lemon juice. Give that a good mix together and just leave that to one side whilst you make the rest of the dish. I've left this for around 5 minutes and you can see that the veggies start to go softer. The tomatoes look lovely. Honestly, this smells delicious with the chorizo and the garlic cooking. And then you just want to grab your orzo and tip that in, give it a really good stir together, and then add in your paprika. Because I'm only making this for 2 of us, I'm just going to use half a teaspoon of paprika. So again, give that a good mix round, and then you just want to submerge the rice in water just to make sure the rice is covered. So that amount is kind of fine, and then leave that cooking for around 10 to 15 minutes. Bring it to the boil, then turn it down to simmer, pop a lid on and leave it for around 10 to 15 minutes, just stirring occasionally. So I've left this for probably around 12 minutes. I did have to put a little bit more water in it and stir it halfway through, but it's pretty much done now. Another couple of minutes and it will be done. So at this point you want to add in your creme fraiche. So dollop that in there, your basil. So I've just basically chopped up some basil leaves and then sprinkle in your Parmesan. Give that a good stir through, leave it for another couple of minutes and it's ready to serve. So meanwhile, I'm just going to quickly fry the prawns in a separate saucepan. So you'll only want to fry off the prawns probably only for around 3 minutes, just until they turn pink. So I prefer to turn them up to a high heat, and I've got obviously the garlic and the lemon juice in there, and then I'll add that on top of the orzo mix. The orzo is pretty much done now, so I'm just going to season with some salt and pepper, and then by that point the prawns will also be done. They're cooking away nicely in all of the garlic and lemon juice. And just pop the prawns. You can add some extra basil if you want, or just serve like this, and there you go. One pan dish. How delicious does that look? Wednesday was a slow cooker meal. I use my slow cooker so much this time of year, honestly. I just find it so handy. I can whack everything in there in the morning, and then all my dinner is ready for me when I get home. I just find that ideal, and just something really nice about coming home to, you can smell all the food, it's already cooked and you don't really have to do anything. So this one was a slow cooked lamb and potato curry. So it was 372 calories without any rice. So if I add a portion of rice, I normally add around 200 calories for that. And that was 4 syns just for the curry. And then obviously if you're following Slimming World, then the rice would be free. But I would definitely make this one, honestly. So easy to make as well, because everything all goes in at the same time in the slow cooker. I've just got all the ingredients out to make the dinner for this evening. So like I mentioned, we're having slow cooked lamb curry. So I've diced the onion already. I basically just do that the night before when I'm making dinner. So just put it in a little Tupperware in the fridge, and then it's super easy. I don't need to faff around in the morning. I've then got some potatoes here as well. So these are just the little salad potatoes, and I probably used, I don't know, about 7 potatoes there that you can see I've just kind of chopped into bite-sized pieces. I've got some lamb as well, so I've got 300 grams of lamb shoulder, and then spice wise I'm going to be using ginger, turmeric, garam masala, curry powder. You can use mild or medium. I'm just using mild because Arabella will be having it as well, so I don't want it too spicy. Some ground cumin, a little bit of mango chutney. I'm using light coconut milk and a tin of chopped tomatoes, and then I'll just add a little bit of tomato puree and 4 garlic cloves. I can't remember if I mentioned them before. Super easy because it basically just all goes into the slow cooker, and then we'll cook on low until I get home from work later. Honestly, it's literally as easy as just throwing everything in the morning. So the onions, the potatoes going in, got the lamb going in, and then the tin tomatoes, the coconut milk, garlic cloves. So I'm doing 4 garlic cloves in here. About a tablespoon of tomato puree, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, a heaped teaspoon of curry powder, about half a teaspoon of ginger, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric. I forgot to mention that you also want to add a stock pot, or you can add a chicken or vegetable or lamb stock pot. I haven't got any, so I'm just going to add in, basically just crumble over an OXO cube. Then lastly, I'm just going to add in 1 tablespoon of mango chutney. give that all a really good stir around, just making sure that all the spices and everything are all mixed together. You don't need to do anything else with it at all, and then just cook it on high for around 8 hours. I'll leave it slightly longer because it will probably be a little bit longer until I get back from work, or alternatively you could maybe make it at lunchtime and then cook it on high for 4 hours. So I'm just going to put it on low and then put the lid on, and I cannot wait to have that when I get home this evening. I'd left it for around 8.5 hours in total, and it smelled absolutely delicious. The lamb just melts in your mouth, and then I served it with a portion of rice on the side. Thursday we got home from work really late, and I'd previously made a bolognese, and whenever I do like a big bolognese or something, I always like to put extra portions of it into the freezer. So all I've done in the morning is defrost the bolognese that I had in the freezer, cooked up some pasta, mixed it all together, grated some cheese on top, put it in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then we basically had a bolognese pasta bake. And yeah, it was delicious and came in at, how many calories was that one? 525 calories and sin free if you are following Slimming World. I then just served it with a portion of salad on the side. Friday night was a curry. So Friday nights we sometimes do a bit of a fake away, so I often like to have a curry or something on a Friday, and this one, it was a rendang curry, which was really delicious, not too spicy neither. This came in at 517 calories, so that's including about 200 calories for a portion of rice as well. And sin wise, that was 4 syns per serving if you're following Slimming World. So tonight we are having the Malaysian rendang curry. This is one of the spice mixes from Spice and Ties. I've spoken about these before, I use them all the time. I'll link them down below. I always buy their curry and slimming mega kits. If you use the code Chelle20, you will also get 20% off. What I really like about these is then, because you don't need to buy all the spices and everything separately, and this one, I've never actually used one like this before, but you actually get 2 different sachets. So one for like the paste, and then you get all these leaves too, so it's much cheaper than actually having to buy, you know, sometimes if you have to buy loads of leaves and then you might not necessarily use them again. So yeah, I've not had this one before, so I'll let you know how this goes. It comes with all the ingredients that you'll need on there as well, and then it's got all of the instructions in there, the method for cooking. So for this one you'll need 4 onions, some chicken breasts. I'll use around 3, I've got 3 large chicken breasts in here, some chopped ginger, I'm just using the lazy one because then I've always got it in the fridge, 5 garlic cloves, a tin of lighter coconut milk, couple of limes, and then some sugar, but I'm just going to use sweetener to make the calories a little lower. And then to serve that, I'm just going to serve it with some rice. In a mini food processor, you want to blitz together the onion, the garlic and the ginger, and then also add in some of your sachet one, the curry mix here. I'm probably going to do this in 2 separate halves just because I've got quite a lot of onions and it's only a little mini food processor. And then to this you also want to add a couple of tablespoons of water. Basically all you're doing here is like creating your own paste. Once you've blitzed it all up, it should be this kind of consistency, so like a paste but still a little bit thicker. Then you want to get a large saucepan, put it on a large frying pan rather, put it onto a high heat, and then spray it with some oil or fry light. Then you just want to add in the spice mix here and fry it for around 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm just frying that for a couple of minutes. Honestly, it smells delicious. Then you want to add in your meat. So like I said, I'm using chicken. Going to add in the chicken and then fry that for another 5 minutes. I've left this for around 5 minutes and then it's time to add in the rest of your ingredients. So just squeeze the juice out of a couple of limes. Add in a tin of coconut milk. So as you can see, I'm using the light coconut milk here. Then if you're using sugar or sweetener, then you want to add in a couple of teaspoons. Just sprinkle it over and mix it all in together. You then want to add the leaves here. I don't know what these are. I don't know if they're like kaffir leaves or something, or curried leaves. I'm not sure. Just pop them in. Give everything a good stir. Bring it to the boil, and then I'm going to pop the lid on and then leave it to simmer for around 10 to 15 minutes. I've left this for around 15 minutes. I did just add a tiny little bit of corn flour mixed with some water to thicken it up a bit more, just because I like my curries a little bit thicker. But yeah, it's pretty much ready. I've just added some salt and pepper, and now I'm going to serve it with some rice on the side. Saturday evening was a new recipe that I hadn't tried before, and I wasn't quite sure it would be like. It was like a white bean chilli. So rather than making a chilli with red kidney beans and mince and everything, it was actually made with like small pieces of diced chicken and cannellini beans, and honestly it was delicious. I didn't serve it with rice of anything like that. It was basically like a dish in itself. It was so yummy, and I just had some avocado with it and some feta on the top. Honestly, it was delicious. That came in at really low in calories, this one, so 346 calories. Syns were a little bit higher, so 4 syns, but it's probably mainly because of I think this one did have coconut milk in, I can't remember, or the avocado that I put on top of it as well. This is everything that you'll need to make the white bean chilli. So I'm putting chicken breasts in mine. It probably would work better, in all honesty, if you used chicken mince or turkey mince, but I just had some chicken breasts. So I've used a couple of chicken breasts and I've cut them into quite small pieces, which did take a while. So yeah, definitely easier if you use mince. Then I've chopped up 1 onion, 1 green pepper, the stalks and the bigger leaves from some coriander, a couple of garlic cloves, a chicken stock cube. I've got around 100 grams of frozen sweet corn, a tin of cannellini beans, some oregano, paprika, and then to serve with it I've got some sour cream. I'll add in probably around a tablespoon of corn flour just to thicken it too, and then a fresh lime, avocado, the leaves of the coriander, and some feta. Put quite a large saucepan on a medium to heat and then fry it with some fraiche. And then first of all you want to start by adding in the onions and saute them until they're a little bit softer for around 5 minutes. I also like to add a little bit of salt just as the onions are sweating. After frying the onion for a couple of minutes, I'm then going to add in the garlic and the green peppers. And then just keep frying the onions with the peppers and the garlic just for another couple of minutes. I've fry that off for around 3 minutes, and then you want to add in your spices. So I've got my smoked paprika, so add around a teaspoon of the smoked paprika and a teaspoon of oregano. Add in the coriander stalks and bigger leaves. Give it a little bit of a stir before then adding in your chicken. Give it all a really good mix together and then just fry that to bring all the flavours into the chicken for a couple of minutes. Season with some salt and pepper. Then you want to add in your sweet corn, the drained cannellini beans, the stock cube that I've just mixed together with some water. Give that all a good stir together. Then add water, just enough water to cover it. Don't put too much in because you can always add more. And then bring that to the boil. And then once it's come up to the boil, then turn it down to simmer. Then you want to add some corn flour. So in here I've just mixed 1 tablespoon of corn flour with 2 tablespoons of water, and then I'm just going to pour that in, mix it through, and then just leave it to simmer for another couple of minutes and it should thicken up nicely.
We're making colour, I think.
It's nearly ready now and it's thickened up nicely, so all you want to do is add the juice from half a lime, squeeze that through, season with a little bit more salt and pepper if needed. Add in a little bit of the coriander leaves, just reserving some to sprinkle over when you serve. Give it a good stir. Then at this point I'm going to add in the soured cream. Tamsin's having this as well and she's dairy free, so I'm just going to dish hers up before I do that. I've just dished Tamsin's up out of there. Now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of soured cream and then just stir that through. So it's now like a thick kind of chilli soup consistency. Once I'd served the chilli, I topped with 1/4 of an avocado which I'd sliced, crumbled over some feta and then sprinkled the coriander leaves. Sunday was another slow cooker meal, so this time it was a beef ragu made in the slow cooker. Super easy, you're just using quite a fairly cheap cut of beef, so you're using a beef brisket, hardly any ingredients in this one as well. You just throw it all in and then you come home, do whatever you want, go out all weekend, and then you come back and you've got a delicious meal. This one came in, I served it with the pasta as well, and it came in at 584 calories, or half a syn if you are following Slimming World. So again, really low in calories, really low on syns. And what I loved about this is there was loads left as well, so it served us for another meal during the week. I love dinners like that where you've then got another dinner, or you can put it in the freezer or something as well. So yeah, really delicious that one was, and you'll see that I absolutely love a slow cooker meal. To make this, I've got 1 chopped carrot and 1 onion, so to save time I basically did all of this last night and then I just grabbed this out the fridge in the morning and it's ready to go. I also peeled the garlic cloves last night, so I've got 6 garlic cloves, from rosemary from the garden, some tomato puree. In here you'll need around 100 ml of red wine. I just normally keep a bottle that I just use for cooking. The brisket, like I said, so you want about 800 grams will do you for around 6 to 8 people, I find, because it goes all nice and shredded. Some thyme, some basil, oregano, tinned tomatoes, and then I've just got some beef stock in here, so I've got around, what, 300 ml of beef stock in there. Put either a saucepan, or I've actually got the slow cooker that you can put directly on the hob, which is super handy. I'll link it down below if anyone's interested. Then just spray it with some fry light, and then you just want to basically brown the meat on all sides, not for long at all, just for a couple of minutes really. So just sear it only for a couple of minutes on each side, and then it's time to add all of the other ingredients into your slow cooker. Then you want to add in the carrots and the onions, the red wine, tin of chopped tomatoes, then a couple of teaspoons of the oregano, same with the basil as well. Then add in your garlic cloves. I'm adding in around 5 garlic cloves, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, pour over the beef stock, so 300 ml of that. Give it all a really good stir together. So at this point the beef should be pretty much coated. Pop in your rosemary, and then lastly just season with some salt and pepper. Stop. I've just given it a good stir. Honestly, it smells incredible. I can't wait to eat this later. Pop the lid on, and then you want to cook it on high for around 7 to 8 hours. So it's probably been around 8 hours now, and I just thought I would show you what it looks like now. So you can see already that the beef has already started to break away, so there's just some really big chunks in here. And what I'm going to do now is just shred this into smaller portions of beef, and then it's ready to serve with some tagliatelle or spaghetti. So I've just started to shred this, so you can get like pretty big chunks, and you can see that it's already so easily just falling apart. So all you want to do is just basically shred those chunks there with a couple of forks. Oh, honestly, I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. Again, another big chunk here. Just grab it, start to shred it in small little chunks, and it just comes away so easily. Just keep going until you shredded the whole thing. You can see now it's all nicely shredded, and the beef just sucks up all the sauce. They are all of the meals that I wanted to share with you today. I really do hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you do want to take advantage of the Readly offer, then just follow my link in the description box down below, and then you can try it for completely free for 2 months without any obligations. You can cancel at any time. Honestly, I couldn't recommend it. Like I said, I've used it for probably about 18 months now, and I just love it, especially for getting all of the Christmas inspo and meal inspiration from there too. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you again next time.